Hello everybody, DMark95 here, about ready to do part 3 of our video series here of the Ruckus Taida 232 monster of a GY6 engine. This is the biggest I know of that you can turn a GY6 into. In this video, we're going to be putting on the cylinder, the head, the cam, everything up top. Now, only thing I've really done since the last video, slid on our dowel pins and put on the extended Kymco chain guides. You need these because this engine has a stroker that's extended 8.2 millimeters, and in order to accommodate that extended travel, Taida provides a bigger cylinder, taller. If you did not have a taller cylinder, you would have to use one of these. It's called a spacer, and these can be quite problematic. You got to put gaskets on the top and bottom, and it just provides another failure point, something you don't need, as to where Taida just puts it all into the block. Now, also, one other thing to note, these dowel pins, if you do use one of these, you have to use extended length dowel pins. Taida does sell them, and you can find them on the web. I mean, they're out there, but again, it's just more problematic because if you use those, that is all that would be sticking into your cylinder. So anyways, moving on, spacers, not the greatest of idea. Alright, I got the gasket placed on there. Now I'm going to go ahead and set the cylinder on. You'll note it's a top dead cylinder. It makes it easier. This is how I slide it on. I have the piston out like that. Boop, stick it down, put the pins in. So we'll be back in just 1 second once I get this lid on there. So I got the cylinder mounted on here, and I got the wrist pin put through there and the little circlips. Here's a little trick I learned on a YouTube video, actually. Keep a zip tie through here and keep tension on your chain. You do not want it falling down in your engine. Just try to, how I've been rotating the assembly throughout the video. Just keep tension on your chain like that. And it will not fall down in there. So anyways, now that you get that on there, all it takes is you got to slide it down in there. So I'll be right back in just 1 second. So I got the cylinder slid down and everything's coming out perfect. Here it is at top dead center. Don't know if you can. 67 millimeter Taida. Oh yeah. Alright. You'll notice I also installed the dowel pins. Getting ready to install the head gasket, then we'll set the head on there. Also, I gotta put the other chain guide on the other side. So I'll be back in just 1 second. So now we got the head gasket on there. Only thing left is the cylinder head. Well, I guess I shouldn't have said only thing left, but it's one of the last parts, big main pieces. So let's put this bad boy on. Alright, that slid on there absolutely beautifully. So now we need to open our Taida T300 camshaft. Time to mount that. Let me get this open real quick and make some notes. Sorry, I should have had this open. If you've never set a camshaft before, this hole points up towards the sky. This line will be horizontal with this, like that. Pow! Hole up top. Your flywheel, you've got a T over here with a line on it. This metal right here on the timing cover, imagine that's an arrow. That points directly to your T line. So you have to make sure you're at top dead center. That's what the T stands for. and your eye hole is pointing up towards the top. Alright, now that you get your camshaft, now that you have your camshaft mounted, you have to do your rocker arms. EX means point them to the exhaust, and that's really it. It's no brainer. Make sure you put your head dowel pins on there. Them are also called crankcase alignment pins, I think. So I'll go ahead and put that on there. I recommend putting your head nuts on in a crisscross fashion. Go here, here. Well, anyways, I've got these adjusted. I set them to 4 and 5. So the intake, exhaust, the valves are adjusted. Now I just simply need to put on the valve cover. And I also need to put on the chain tensioner. Alright, so I put the gasket on there. The camshaft tensioner. You want the plunger to be all the way up in. The kit comes with this really neat little key thing that holds it in place. And just set it down in there the right way. Once you get it set in there and your socket, your bolt started, go ahead and tighten it down. But I wanted to point this out. Tighten it out like I am. Go side to side. And then you can always come back after you're done here and torque everything down to manufacturer specs. And boop, pull that thing out right there. Just a little key that holds it in place. Put your O-ring in there, and then there's a screw. And then you have to go find a Phillips screwdriver because you didn't grab one. And then go ahead and tighten it down. Boom, that was quick, huh? See how quick I can grab a screwdriver? Gotta love the quickness of video. Now this is something I should note right here. These two, you have to have, if you're doing this on your own, you have to have longer than original. These are about, I think, in between 5 to, I don't know, 8 millimeters difference. But the other ones aren't long enough. So, anyways, gotta have longer ones. That's because of your taller cylinder. Now that we got these tightened down, probably a good idea to recheck these. You know, this pulls this whole assembly down, so nope, 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 and ooh, that one was all right. Something that should be noted: very first time this engine is ran, after you start it and you run it for a little bit, there's going to be thermal expansion contraction that takes place. You're going to want to go around, tighten every bolt you can possibly see. Don't strip them out. Just, you know, put a little bit of torque on there, or throw your torque wrench. Make sure they're at the right specs. But it's important. After I start it and let it run for, 15 minutes, half an hour, I always check the valve lash, all the nuts and bolts. Just go over it, make sure nothing has rattled or vibrated loose. So, we've got the plunger on there, your rockers are set up. let me show you timing. Alright, now this is what I wanted to show you right here. See this line? It's absolutely horizontal with this. The two run parallel. The hole is at the top. I'm having to hold a little flashlight, so it's a bit difficult. Come over here, and as you can see, you can't see because it's not focusing. The T, this line right here, this points directly to that T. That means it's top dead center. Everything is going absolutely perfect with this build so far. Alright, and here we go, the final piece for the top. Taida valve cover, camshaft cover, whatever you want to call it, rocker cover. So let's go ahead and get this mounted on there. Now again, this is one of them items you want to go back and forth, or in a 1, 2, 3, 4 pattern where you go start from like here, 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 where you go boop, 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 boop. Kind of like a lug nut or a tire or wheel. So anyways, whichever way you find to work best for you, go with it. I do not know which is the best. Alright. I do know Taida is the best. So, everything up top is done. It's absolutely beautiful. Alright, now I'm going to do a quick pause here and do a tour of all... that's funny. Do a tour of the bearings and bushings and all that stuff. Alright, so here we go. All these bearings are TPI bearings, extremely high quality. These are Taida seals, the brand they choose. I don't know what brand it is, but with it being Taida, no doubt they're good. I've got the bushings installed. Right there's the crankcase seal. All the bushings installed. Stuff's not hard, but it's rather time consuming. But anyways, that completes this portion of the build. The buyer of this will be installing their own CVT and transmission parts. He's got a fatty, I think he said, with a 12-inch rim or something. I don't know, but he's got the short axle. He's using a couple parts that are different than normal GY6. Okay, well, this is going to conclude this video of this Taida 232. I hope if you're planning on one of these builds, this gives you an idea of all the parts you need. I listed, you need the 94 link chain, the extended studs, 200, 208 millimeter. It's got the 8.2 crank, 67 millimeter. Like I said, this is gonna be a beast. It's going on a Honda Ruckus. If you guys want to talk to the owner of this engine, ask about performance results, go to my forum, www.dansgaragetalk.com, www.dansgaragetalk.com. If you want to buy any of these parts, visit shop.martinmopeds.com, shop.martinmopeds.com. And oh yeah, one thing, and this is something I wanted to point out. The head comes with a really nice gasket kit. It's got your intake spacer if you require one, intake studs, exhaust studs, gaskets, nice heavy duty gasket sticker, and we're gonna have a brand new oil filter and drain plug. And that's gonna conclude this build. This is D Martin 95. Thanks for watching. I'm out.